There's a place, a school, an institution where a professor resides. One that for the past 30 years has traveled the world teaching others. A pioneer in America of the fighting science of Savate. One who codified the sports of this fighting style. One who has produced clubs, champions, and continues to develop. Listen to words.
Right now we're going to be doing the 31st Passage de Grade, annual Passage de Grade. Imagine 31 years we've been having tests of Danse de Rue Savate. And today it's a great one because this 31st Passage de Grade we're going to have 2 silver gloves. Usually you have a silver glove every 6-7 years. You produce one. These are people that have been dedicated, that are learning the system, that are training hard. And last year was a bit of a year because last year was Wuhan year, Wuhan flu year, you know. And many Savate clubs, especially here in the United States, were lost. And they were lost to the point that they're not coming back. But the folks that are here now, it's a small test, but it's a very energetic test. You have guys that have been training for a very long time. You have old silver gloves coming down because this is such a great exam, having 2 at one time, which we've only had it one other time as well. And butterflies just kicked in a bunch of these guys, and they're going to do great. Keep on watching. We're doing a lot of great stuff. Peace. Salute. Venga. Allez. Just like move. Kick. Keep your hands up. Control that circle, and move. Keep your hands up and move. Do clean kicks. You guys aren't going fast. I want you guys to have control. Clean technique. Good repos. Good enchantments, and move.
Go. Met Professor Buitron in December of 1992. Saw a commercial on TV they were doing on a local TV station there in Irving. Wow, this looks like exactly what I've been looking for. I love the idea of the boxing and the beautiful kicks he was demonstrating on TV. So the school was 2.5 miles from me. I went in, hooked, loved it, absolutely loved it. I think at one point I was going so much, I think he told me to take a couple days off because I was trying to go to every class. But anyway, my original goal was to fight in the ring. And I told him that, and he worked with me, and he made that come true for me. And I had several fights over the course of, I think, 9 years. Won some, lost some. But I was 2-time Texas champion, something I feel really good about. It taught me a lot. I love Danse. I got involved with the Danse de Rue Savate when it formed a little bit later after I joined. It brought the malice of the streets to it. Loved that, fell in love with it. First I feel lost in everything. This is not like the ring, but the malice was there and I fell in love with that, and now I love to train it. And I've been in it now for 28 years. It's going to be 29 in December, I believe. If my math is correct, maybe 28. But Professor Buitron, he got me into the ring. He taught me how to fight. He was always up front with me. He pushed me when I needed to be pushed, but he would back off when he felt like he needed to back off of me. And there's no better teacher, in my opinion, anywhere in the world. And the only people I will listen to is him and anyone that taught him, or he gives his respect to, his blessing to teach his students.
Move in a circle, control that circle. And also control your distance. Quit jumping back, going 6 feet out and coming back in and trying to gain it. Hands up. Okay, I'm going to talk to you guys and define the difference. One, if I get that, I'm cutting everything that's coming in my center line. So my hands are going to fall in this fashion to cut the line of the center line. Okay? Okay? Put this in your hand. If it's this way, I'm going to do that. If it's the opposite, I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it right here. Leave it there. Not enough to leave it there. So this one's here. See? And then the other one comes in, put it in the middle. See that? I'm going to cut those lines. That's an evaqueta. I'm cutting those lines. Understand? So everything coming straight at me as a punch. You stay right within fighting range. You're just shy of out of range. Okay? And move. Salute. Manga. Allez. Move. Allez. Oh, the professor's being mean. I'm going to be very mean to you guys. You know why? Because not in one time in a fight outside in the street nor in the ring did I disrespect my professor. Either I came back bloody or I bloodied that other son of a bitch. That's just the way it is. Okay, so when you guys go outside and you guys get your ass kicked, they're going to say, Professor Buitron did not teach you. Believe me, they're going to realize where you guys come from.
He taught, but I didn't learn.
Exactly right. That's why very few are here. There you go. Move. See? Here. That's where I'm reaching. If I reach out more, okay? All right? Now, if he sticks out his hand at the punch, this moves faster than this moves faster than this, and this moves faster. If he comes with intent, steps in, and this comes out. See, this is the first thing that's going to happen. If I'm here, he comes in, watch, boom. I just deflected his hand. Okay? It was going here, boom. See where I'm at? Yes, sir. This is it. How many other words? This is straight. Savate, porta. You see it. Okay? If they paid attention to it, it's not the ring. The ring, if I'm here, watch what happens. Boom. I'm here. So you cannot have the mentality of boxers and Savate. Boxers and Savate is a beautiful sport in the ring. This is the street. That's where Savate is the street. So for all those that mentally masturbate on YouTube, those motherfuckers there on YouTube, those guys, stop. This is what the street. So as soon as he comes in, he goes there, think, then I can take whatever I want. So the same thing happens here. Watch. It's already armed. This is going to be the second one. Right? Watch what happens if I do this. It comes in. I'm right here still smack in the middle of him. I have to cancel that out. Can I cancel it with my left? Of course. Watch. Right? If I literally pivot and go, I'm out of range anyway. That's what Savate's all about. That's what Buitron says all about. The original ones. Okay, which we got everything from, and that's what Danse de Rue Savate is. Okay? Nothing different. Right now we're doing the left. Okay? Same side. Same side. So as it comes in, right there, inside. Right? There's nothing different that I'm doing. Okay? Now I'm going to pivot. See the difference? So as he comes in, and I just turn a little bit to get out of where he comes in. See where I'm at? It's not Wing Chun. It's not Sila. This is Siporta. This is Savate. This has always been there. This was what was used in the street. Okay? That's just the way it is. Does that similarities? Yes. And people can flower and take and play with it and everything else. Yes, that's what it is. Okay? So right now, before the manchette leaves, I'm doing a maqueta. See? And here comes my manchette. Okay? Art statues. Move. And you practice. Move. On your toes. On your toes. On your toes. And move in a circle. Move in a circle. Now, things that go out in these zones and come around, I have to stop that angle of my back. That's what's called the delude. So if he comes like a John Wayne that's coming around in this one, see where it's coming? All right? And if he does it from the other hand, it's coming here, right? So I have to stop that. I cannot block it. It's still going to hit me. I can bob and weave it and get out of the way, right? So I have to stop it. So as it comes out to this side, I go what? Delude. Stop it. Now I hide behind my shoulder for me not to get it, but it's still going. Okay? I'm just going to muffle it now. If I hit the joint, this is going to bend. Okay? If I hit the clavicle, he's going to stop. Now we jar it. Okay? Understand? Same thing goes to the legs. Goes to round, I can stop it. Now, hands up, Mojo! Hands up, Mojo! Come on, Mojo! Hands up! Keep your hands out. You guys look like you guys are playing pocketball. Move! Move! Keep your hands up. I sort of got it and teach you guys to keep your hands that low. That comes from some street down that school down the street.
Hello, my name is Clyde Castorena. I am head monitor of Danse de Rue Savate. I met Professor Buitron in 1995. Right away, I was very taken with his fighting spirit, his perfection of technique. I've never been hit so hard from so small a motion. Everything was just combat. Danse de Rue means dance of the street, and that's what it was. Street fighting. That's all we all want. We got to protect ourselves. We got to protect our families, especially in these trying times. I was interested in the boxe française. Of course, meeting Professor Buitron when I was older, I became a referee because I saw boxe française beginning to flourish. The seed of boxe française in the USA is here in Texas. Okay, so I'm going to be a part of that. I'm going to help them. And there's great fights, great enthusiasm, It shows that, things are easier said than done because people say, hey, we're going to come here, we're going to beat on some Texans. That's not the case. But staying with Professor Buitron, you learn so much about motion. You learn so much about the kinesiology involved in just putting forth the maximum power with the minimum effort. And that is Danse de Rue Savate. Thank you.
This is all both sets. Chassé right. Relay chassé. Okay. Comes in, relay chassé. Okay, front leg chassé. Here one. Right? Hands up, Danny! Don't confuse that. That's a slip. Okay? If it comes into, he throws a punch, this one's slipping. See what I'm doing? I'm slipping. I want you to see, he comes here. Watch what I'm doing. I'm literally placing my hand on the shoulder and going up. See where it's heading? That's just entry. I'm just afternoon. There's 3 old shades called hats. The baqueta, bendito, that I'm going to take advantage of it. Now, what happens if I do it here? I have to touch front. You know what I say? Front is kind of the back a little bit. But literally, I'm out of the way. Look at where he's. Hey, so I'm literally out of this line of attack. Look how close I am. Understand what I'm saying? Because from this side, the same thing happens. See? Okay? Whoop. I'm literally like a slipper. Need be. Understand what I'm saying? That's what makes this so hard for people who families. There's no that's just what it is. When I'm here and I go here and I go flack, look what happened. I'm out of this line. Okay? If I go to the other side and I go right here, see where I'm at? I'm not doing anything, nothing magical. Okay? People might say, oh, that's bullshit, this, that. Let them play. One way or another, I always tell people, you're going to respect Savate, dance with Savate one way or another. You're going to come here and respect its nature. You're going to get the shit kicked out of you and you're going to respect the nature. Either way. Plain and simple. No, you did bunch of work there. The streets, different story. So, one way or another, you're going to come in those doors and you're going to respect them. And so we have to take those into granted. Okay? Now that we're going into silver, and you start seeing stuff like this, you go in there and start seeing this emotion. It's not easy, right? But you can't go behind it, you can't bend it. I can't do this for no. Understand? We're going to go with a basic stop, okay? So very chassé. Very basic. Chassé, that's another right here. Okay, very day. Right there, okay? We're in, comes in. Okay? Very light. Come on. Understand? Goes in, chassé, boop. Right, back here. Right, thank you. Comes in. Chassé. Boop. Understand? It'll be different. Front leg. Rear leg.
Patrick Gavin in English, much easier to pronounce. My background is in boxing, where I competed in Chicago with the Park District, placing second in the Golden Gloves about 2 times, and having over 40 fights as an amateur boxer. We also did some kickboxing and judo and Brazilian jiu-jitsu competition with a little bit of training and wrestling. In 1999, I became associated with Savate, particularly USA Savate, United States Amateur Savate and Guild. I competed until I was age 35 with USA Savate. I won the US Championship as a senior middleweight 3 times, and I also won the Assault Light Contact Championship, British Open, around 2000 in Guildford, Surrey, England. And I also competed in the Belgian Open. Didn't win that, but hey, I gave up 30 pounds to my opponent, and I dropped him with the gancho, liver shot, which I'm pretty proud of. But I continue to teach Savate, which my club has had some challenges with COVID. which I hope to resurrect it. My goal is to teach more young people the value of this sport and this art, and introduce them to the wonderful things you can do for their lives, both in terms of health, fitness, courage, fighting spirits, and just to make them better, more moral, more ethical people who respect violence and know enough to stay the hell away from it whenever possible. But should they be victimized by it, the beating won't be one way. As I said, I teach my students very strict fundamental basics. If they know how to do nothing else, they know how to move, they know how to defend, and they know how to hit very, very bleeding hard. And if only you have an hour to teach somebody sometimes, teach them how to hit really freaking hard. Because that's the difference.
All right, you move in a circle, hands up. I don't want you guys punching with your elbows out. You look like a chicken. All right? On your toes does not mean you're pussyfooting around. It means that you're on your toes and you're moving. Understand? Not tap dancing. Moving on your toes. I want a clean guard. Keep your hands up. You kick with your rear leg and you bring it back to the rear. Salute. Allez. Boom. Well, what happens after that goes on. Okay? So sign of the cross is the same thing. We go boom, boom, boom. See where I'm at? Right here. And this is going to go black. Breaking it up. Okay? That's sign of the cross. Okay? Push that. All right? So again, comes in. Go boom, 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 boom. See? Oh, this is hyperextended. I need to control that. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to just knee. And right on my butt. Okay. All right? Get apart and go. No pocket pool champions here. Keep your hands up. Got it. Ready? Quit switching your legs. Quit switching your legs. Move. Move. You kick from the rear.
Mi nombre es Silvia Lucio. Me conocen por mi nickname de Manga. Este nickname me lo puso mi profesor por Buitron cuando tomé mi primer examen en guantes azules hace 21 años. Y a través de los años fui avanzando hasta que llegué a guantes plateados. Y estoy considerada como la primera mujer que llegó al nivel de guantes plateados en el área de Savate. Desde que empecé a tomar las clases del profesor Buitron me empezó a dar mucha más seguridad en mi día a día. Aparte de más conciencia de todo mi alrededor. Entender la distancia en que se encuentra todo. Quizás es un poco difícil de explicar, pero las personas que saben de artes marciales pueden entenderlo. De que quizás posteriormente uno nomás vea que estaba a la puerta a cierta distancia y punto, pero ya que sabes artes marciales, todos esos puntos de vista cambian. No solamente sabes dónde está la puerta, sabes dónde está la persona, dónde está la otra persona, y ya tienes todo en tu mente programado para, en caso de una emergencia, saber cómo atacar o cómo defenderte de todos ellos. Quiero agradecer esto también porque no solamente nos enseñó artes marciales, también me enseñó el legado de su familia me enseñó cipotas, que eso nada más pertenece a la familia Buitron. Entonces eso para mí fue un regalo grande, muy grande, porque no solamente era mi maestro, ya yo pertenecía a la familia, porque tengo la escuela de cipota también. Entonces les digo, ya que empecé a tomar las artes marciales, todas mis perspectivas de alrededor mío empezaron a cambiar y empecé a ver la vida un poquito diferente, con más seguridad y con más cuidado, de que no te puedes confiar, no puedes andar caminando sin estar observando a tu alrededor qué es lo que está sucediendo. Tienes que tener conciencia de todo y la única manera de irlo agarrando es a través de este tipo de actividades de las artes marciales. Y en mi caso, pues aprendí el Savate, el Danse de Rue y el más importante, que fue el legado que me dio el profesor Buitron, cipote. Pues muchas gracias, profesor Buitron. Estoy aquí hoy porque son 31 años de que tiene la escuela y iban a tener 2 guantes plateados para tomar examen, y es un evento muy, muy importante. Y vine para apoyarlos y ser parte del board que testifica que sí tomaron su examen, que lo hicieron bien y que sí agarraron su guante plateado el día de hoy. Porque todos en Savate somos una familia y todos nos tenemos que apoyar siempre. Por eso estoy aquí, para que ellos puedan lograr su objetivo. Y hicieron muy buen trabajo, estoy muy orgullosa de todos ellos y muy feliz de pertenecer a la familia de Savate.
Move! I don't know what that was, mine. You look like a ballerina. Move! There's a lot of things in number 5, way too many. But it's the whole motion. As he comes in and throws a punch. This one's a parry, see? Okay? This is full rep. Understand? That's 5. See? He comes in, the first thing that happens is to go, whoop. See? Slow motion, bang. Then I open. When I open, I'm hyperextending what? His elbow on my chest. I'm going, crack. When I get to this point, all I do is what? Drop my elbow. Boom. Underneath. Okay? Okay? So practice it. Both sides. Watch. He comes in with the other one. Boom. The opposite. Comes in with the lead. Side. In. Comes in with the rear. Same side. In. Alright, go. Goes back to the rear. And your question was?
The 4 speeds in power and speed in sparring, and what are each of them and what are their uses?
Alright. In Boxe Answer Savate in general, in Savate in general. In Boxe Answer Savate, there's actually 4 speeds. Okay? And those 4 speeds, you have to be able to, kind of like driving a stick, you have to be able to switch it off and on. You have fast, no power, fast with power. You have slow with power, and slow without power. And when you're fighting or when you're in the ring, you have to be able to shift from all there, because that's where you get your feints, that's where you get your strikes, that's where you make the combinations, that's where you build the fight, your fight. Because you want to fight somebody, not towards what he's thinking. I'm fighting somebody on my terms and the way I want to fight and how I want to be. So I can tap you lightly, or I can go boom inside with the full power, right? Or I can go slow, lightly, or go boom, slow with power. Okay, so you have to be able to switch that in a fight, especially in the ring. Okay, maybe I want to go slow, no power, just for him to get a little bit more confident to make a mistake and come at me, and then I can. Well, I want to go fast with power, because I want to finish him off. Understand what I'm saying? Well, we're moving slow, and I put all my body weight into that slow strike that he's inside. So you have to be able to kind of play the stick shift like you were driving. All right? So that's something that's a good question. That's something that you all need to understand exists. Come on, Mime. Come on, Mojo. When you guys are huffing and puffing, you go back. Good technique, good pivot. If you don't have it, when you huff and puff, it ain't gonna be there. On an attack, okay? The number 8, what number 8 is. Remember, this is a 1 beat. As soon as he comes in, he strikes. That's where it's at. Okay? See where I'm at? Now, once you watch this hand, it's very important. As it comes in, watch. It's there for a reason. Get your glasses. Alright? So you guys can see it on this side. As he comes in, watch him look at you guys. I won't miss. See? Look at you. He comes in. Watch. Clack. Why? I know who he's at. I'm looking peripherally through my peripheral vision. Okay? So when you're there in the fight, you never know if this guy or this guy's going to come at you. So your eyes are already peripherally just opened up, it's already in the mirror. And see, not one kick to the leg. Savate, we kick the leg, we chop the tree down. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 9, 10, 11.
Particularly when we're training in martial arts, beginners to intermediate to advanced people, what is the role of each of those speeds and when do we use them?
Well, I'm going to divide something up. Sparring and assault, 2 different things. Assault is a bout without power, so you always use it. You can go fast, no power, slow, no power. Why am I going to try to put power if I'm doing assault? Okay? Understand? In sparring is used when I'm preparing a fighter for a bout. See, that's where people miss. They go, oh, we're going to go spar. So they put their helmet, their gear, and then they wail on each other, kick the shit out of each other, and somebody gets hurt. And then they're saying, oh, I'm just being tough. That's not being tough, you're being stupid. When you're building a fighter, you have to build them up for 100%. So in the ring, if I have training you for a bout, you're going to have sparring partners. So in other words, all those 4 levels, speed no power, slow no power, speed with power, and slow with power, are going to be used. So you have to increase the level, increase the intensity to build up the fighter to be at the peak when he's going to have the bout. Usually takes about 6 weeks. Okay? Conditioning, 8 weeks, some depends on the amount of rounds and so on and so forth. If it's a professional, and if you're going to fight 12 rounds, 8 rounds, 6 rounds, 4 rounds. If it's amateur, 3 rounds. So amateur, 6 weeks. Pro, 8 weeks. Okay? The biggest mistake you get a lot of pro fighters that I've seen around here in Laredo, and the first thing they do is, I'm going to start sparring tomorrow because in 2 weeks I have a fight. Well, you're not conditioned. You haven't built yourself up. And then they lose and they're trying to figure out why. It's called training and preparation. Don't lean when you kick midsection. Don't lean. Move in a circle. Danse de Rue Savate. Same thing. Okay? Same thing as he comes. It's the same thing. The left comes in, and I go boom. Watch what I do right here. Okay? Understand? When he comes in, and bam. Boom. All right. Go. Allez. Okay. He comes in, I go boom. Right here, comes in. As he passes, hip to hip. Go down. Okay? Understand? Now, change is just that. This is when Savate went to judo. This was passed over to judo. Just like that. But in actuality, when it comes in, and I go underneath, and I go here, and I step. Alright? Go. Practice. Touch, block, Danny, block. Patrick, mechanical, start moving in a circle. Move in a circle. Two or similar. Riddle of the sage and what? Puzzle of the sage. Riddle of the sage, we're going to do it slow, then we'll do the puzzle. Riddle, he comes in with jab, cross. He comes in, jab, cross. That's riddle. Okay? Puzzle is this. Same thing. Okay? Break that. Copy here. Right down. Go. And he throws wide, John Wayne, right, left. Okay? Go right, left, middle. You see what I'm doing here? Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to brace my hands. And watch what I'm going to do here. You've seen it. I've done it.
Didn't we do the coup de ball and flip them over last time?
Yeah. So Patrick's here for you guys to see. He comes in, again swelling into the other side, pierce my head button. I can do this, I can grab my ankle. Now from here, I do this. Okay? Up. His head's gonna do what? Boom, first. Thanks. Understand? Practice, play.
best kept secret of Laredo. Buitron Academy, 956-401-4868. Savate.biz.